This is Dave McCain with TRT Genealogy Basics. I'm presenting a video that was originally aired on my other channel, The Right Tree Genealogy. I've edited it out, getting down to the crux of the video, and it helps you understand about cousin relationships. Family cousins, once removed. I never left. So what does this mean? What does once removed, twice removed actually mean? What does the phrase once removed or twice removed really mean? Well, generally speaking, the separation of one cousin from another cousin in half steps is what the general definition of removed or once removed in genealogy, or actually in the legal system. Let's take a look at a few slides of familiarity and then get into what it means. So starting here, family relationships we should all understand. If you look at the top of this, father, mother, and I've got a family couple here, Joseph and Mary, and they had a son named Jack and a daughter named Karen. Each one of them had a child. Jack had a daughter named Crystal, and Karen had a daughter named Kathy. And then those children, Crystal had a son named Frank, and Kathy had a son named Nate. This is an understanding that anyone can see and understand in general. You've seen these type of relationships all over the place. To define those, you have the parent relationship to the son Jack and the daughter Karen. And then you have the first cousin relationship between Crystal and Kathy. Then you have the second cousin relationship between Frank and Nate. Those, again, those relationships we all understand. We need to take the next step. So here's the twist. Again, we've already talked about the first cousin and the second cousin. First cousin, let's say here, Crystal to Nate, or Crystal to Conway in this case. What are those relationships? Think of our family relationship as a ladder, and the rungs, each relationship is a rung. So you have the siblings as one rung, first cousins are another rung. Now think of what we do on a ladder. We typically stand on one rung and work on things. Well, when you do that, again, rung 1, rung 2, rung 3, and if there was a relationship here, rung 4. If you stand on one rung, you are cousins. So basically, first cousins, Crystal and Kathy are first cousins. That's the second rung here. Siblings are the first rung in this example. If you have one foot on one rung and another foot on another rung, then you are removed, the term removed. Now, standing on one rung and moving one foot, and this relationship is going from rung number 2 to rung number 3. Rung number 2 to rung number 3 would be first cousins once removed. So you basically have a foot on this one, you're the cousin here, first cousin, and you've stepped one foot down on the step rung below you, and that makes you one cousin once removed, or first cousins once removed. Now when you do that again, now you move one foot to the second rung, and that's difficult on a ladder, but let's just say you can. It's from rung number 2, which is the first cousin rung, and move it to the fourth rung, which is, in this case, first cousins twice removed. So basically you're keeping one foot on the first cousin rung, and then you're stepping over to the person's son, in this case, or their child and their grandchild. So your first cousin's child and grandchild are these relationships. Stepping back to the page before this, so you have a first cousin relationship, and then the first cousin's child to the first cousin is once removed, because this is still the relationship between these two. This is this person's child. And then when you go to the next rung down, you still are the first cousins. It's just that this is your first cousin's grandchild, and so your relationship to them is first cousins twice removed. So conclusions on this is, if you think of it as a ladder, you start at the very top of it or at the bottom, whichever way, it really doesn't matter which way you look at it. It's just that your first rung would be the siblings. Your second rung would be your first cousins. The third rung would be your second cousins, and so on. If you move both feet at the same time, that's how you have those relationships. So if you take and go, if you have both feet on the same rung of a ladder, That's going to be first cousins or second cousins or third cousins or siblings at the top of this. If you decide to move one of your 2 feet, okay, so by having one foot on one rung and another foot on another rung, this is what's called the once removed relationship. I gave 2 examples. I have first cousins once removed, first cousins twice removed, but it continues to apply down the line. If you have 2 second cousins and then the child of one second cousin to the second cousin is second cousins once removed and second cousins twice removed continually. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please consider subscribing right here or watching these other videos from this channel, and let's continue learning together.